Hello, Ducks fans. Welcome to another episode of the Quack Report. My name's Carter, and I'm joined, as always, by Nate. And we're going to talk some Ducks hockey, potentially, depending on how we feel.
Is that what we want to call it? Hockey?
We're going to talk Ducks. That's for sure. The word duck will be said in this episode. That's what we should go with.
Okay, I only know that I only know mallard ducks off the top of my head.
Oh, we don't have to talk about
You didn't bring on an expert to talk about like actual ducks.
No, not that kind of duck.
I mean, unless they are branching out to like like the Conway, or the Banks, like that's I can give you those ones.
Those species of duck.
Yeah, but that's about
didn't those become extinct somewhere around the late 90s?
Yeah, somewhere in there, I think. So I mean, they do kind of pop up every now and then, I've heard, in like a sequel series, but
yeah, kind of like Bigfoot, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They appear every now and then.
Yeah. Well, before we talk about the Ducks, how about we talk about the baby Ducks and the Gulls? Just a sneak. We talked on our last episode that we were going up to Calgary to catch a Wranglers and Gulls game on Friday. And yeah, it was a cool experience. I mean, Gulls lost 3-0, so that wasn't great, but it was cool to be there and, experience the Gulls live, because we haven't really been able to see much from this team outside of the odd highlight from just like Twitter or whatever. But yeah, no, it was very cool. And then also there was names I'd literally never heard of before on the team too. So it was kind of cool to just experience it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, it totally was. My first AHL game as well. So it was a great experience though. And even though it was a road game technically for San Diego, it was still just a fun experience to go to and that sort of thing. And I think, we just had a good time, I think. So, Dostal played great, honestly.
You really can't blame the third or the 3 goals, on him.
No, especially 2 of them were just like, watch any Anaheim Ducks highlight where the goaltender is just left high and dry, and that's kind of what it was. But I don't know. I mean, I guess a positive to take from it, like Regenda, like actually, like getting to see this guy in person, like he looked good. Obviously nobody put up any points, but like, yeah, he still looked good. I know I made the joke on the TQR Twitter there at the end of the game of like, oh yeah, the player of the game is Pavel Regenda. This guy looks like he's NHL ready and whatnot, but
like you could tell that he was a lot different than
he stood out from the rest of his team. Yeah.
And even against like the Wranglers too, like he was without a doubt, I would say, probably the best player on the ice between both teams. Like Calgary had some good players as well, but like you could just tell that Regenda was like, he had experienced the NHL and he was like older and all that stuff. So
yeah, exactly. I was kind of laughing because Calgary had also just sent down a guy from the NHL in Kevin Rooney, and there's at one point like those two were kind of like button heads a little bit. And Regenda just gave him like a nice rake down the back. I saw at one point, and I was just like, "Oh, that's great! I can't wait to see." Actually, no, I'd be surprised, I guess, if Kevin Rooney gets back up to the NHL this season. But if they happen to both get up, and because Calgary and Anaheim play each other like later into the season, like I know they have one game here in December before Christmas break, I think.
Yeah,
but like a lot of their games are coming up in like March and April. If both of those guys are back up, I don't know, maybe we see something more out of that, but at least in that game, those two were not friends whatsoever. So
yeah, especially from Rooney, I think we'll maybe see that because he'll be like vying for a position on the roster during the playoffs. Most likely. Like I know that the Flames are in and out of the wild card, but I think realistically they'll probably be in the playoffs or at least fighting for it. So but I think when it comes to Regenda, like, yeah, he might still have that we're not going down without a fight, even though we suck kind of mentality, but like, it's not going to be like he's fighting for a position on a playoff roster, right? At least this season. So, I mean, you never know. Stranger things have happened. It has actually happened before, but like, fuck, I would be so surprised. But
yeah, I'd be very surprised.
Another thing that just like in general, I enjoyed about watching the Gulls, and it's something I haven't seen, at least to the extent for from watching the Ducks, and you obviously get a different vibe just watching on the TV and where we were sitting. Like we were what 10. We were the 10th row, but like that's really like 7-8 rows back from the benches because we were like right.
Yeah, we had
there.
we got pretty good seats. So which I mean, like mind you, like the Wranglers games are played at the Scotiabank Saddle Dome where like the Flames play, and they only have the lower bowl open. But still, like the seats that we got were perfect. I thought.
And with the Flames and the Hitmen also playing there, like there's lots of hockey to choose from, so the Wranglers aren't like just the only option. So like you can basically have your pick of any seat. Like we could have picked pretty much any seat we wanted. Too, like while we were there, like no one would have given a shit. Like we wouldn't have been taking anyone else's seat, right? But
yeah, exactly.
But one thing I did notice, and especially being behind the bench, is just like how passionate the Gulls were. Like they were like pissed that they were losing. Like and they were trying to motivate each other on the bench. They were like showing emotion, and like I just haven't seen that from the Ducks. But again, like we've only watched them on TV, right? So like you maybe don't see that quite as much unless the camera shows like, oh, look at how mad this player is right now. But
which I mean, we did see from Troy Terry here in the game against the Sharks at least. But so that was something I noticed as well, actually. So
but just being there in person, you see the little things. So I guess when we go to a Ducks game, because we are planning on going to one later on in the year up in Calgary again, then we'll be on the lookout for it. Well, I'll be on the lookout for that anyway.
We'll be out of the playoffs for like over a month at that point.
Mathematically out. But just looking for like that, like those like little head shakes as you're going back to the bench, or like just the slightly firmer closing of the bench door from certain guys, like just those kind of things that you'll never see just on TV. So
I like that description, slightly firmer closing of the door. I gotta remember that one. Just slightly firmer.
You're not slamming it, because then it just gets you more pissed because it like closes and bounces back. But slightly firmer, just to make you feel better. But overall, very cool experience. So
it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we were not the only Ducks/Gulls fans there. There was at least 2 others. So
which is surprising considering this was in southern Alberta. So I think we were the only people. No, actually, I saw one other person with a Ducks jersey there. And then I saw 2 other people with Gulls jerseys. So
okay, so there's 5 total. But we didn't even get a chance to cheer, really. So
unfortunately, because like we said, we were like, okay, if the Gulls score, we are going to be the most obnoxious people, like cheering wise, just for that goal. And we didn't get the chance to. So because like with again, like it only being the lower bowl and whatnot, like you could hear a lot more of just like the individual people, like
like if someone coughed on the other side of the arena, like you would know.
Like they had a lot of like teams there, like watching the game, right?
Like minor hockey.
So like when they showed those teams, like normally just in an arena, like you maybe hear like a faint bit of them if you're on the other side of the building. But like you could full on hear them, knew exactly where they were, like before even looking in that direction. So we definitely would have been heard, but unfortunately no dice for the Gulls in that game.
Unfortunately not. Maybe the problem was we weren't cheering loud enough, and that's why they didn't score.
Maybe
we didn't get a "Go Gulls Go" chant going.
Maybe
because they would have heard us, because we were literally right behind them. Like,
exactly.
Like if like say Brouillard farted, we would probably smell it. Like that's how close we were.
Oh my god!
Just to paint you a picture there.
There you go.
All right, but it was cool, but and we'll try and go again sometime, I'm sure. But I guess let's get into the reason that everyone else is probably here, and that is anger about the Ducks and the Sharks. And I see you got a clip pulled up. So
yes, I do. You know what? If we wanted, I think actually, we could make this like discussion, talk, whatever you want to call it, about the game against the Sharks. By the way, if you missed it, 6-1 Sharks was the final.
Embarrassing.
We could we could honestly just let this clip play for the 23 seconds that it's going to, and leave it at that.
Okay.
We could, honestly. If you can tell me if you want to. I'm assuming you want to like get into some specifics about it.
Just a couple, but yeah.
but I'm telling you, we could probably just leave it at this.
Okay.
So let me pull it up here. And so I thought this was a great clip that just, I think, encompasses the entirety of this game and maybe even this season so far.
Fucking embarrassing. Fucking embarrassing. It's fucking embarrassing. Fucking embarrassing.
You are able to hear it, right?
Fucking embarrassing. Fucking embarrassing. Fucking embarrassing. Fucking embarrassing. Fucking embarrassing. Fucking embarrassing.
Oh, well, that's embarrassing.
I think that about sums it up, right?
Like, yeah, it really does. Yeah. Yeah. That, honestly, like, I didn't even know what the clip was when you pulled it up, but like, I was like, you know what we need on this keyboard? We need that guy that just screams. It's fucking embarrassing. I was like, which one should I take off? So like, I was literally thinking of that, like, seconds before you pulled the clip up, and then that's exactly what it was. So
that's perfect.
Yeah. No, I just get to take that from the episode, slap it on the keyboard, and there we go.
Yep, the good old coach from Letterkenny. So, I mean, do you even want to talk about the rest of this game? Because I think coach there summed it up. It's fucking embarrassing.
I mean, yeah, it really is. Like, I really don't have much else to add. Like, really, I was just gonna talk about Gibson very, very, very briefly.
Okay. Yeah. Go for it then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was pulled between periods there, which is not new this season. We've seen it a lot. Apparently, he left due to an illness, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be sick of this team also.
Yeah. He's sick of all the bullshit. That's right.
Fuck.
Man, we're just on the same wavelength today. Like,
yeah.
I was literally gonna that's the whole reason I wanted to talk about this, was just so one of us could make that joke. Like, he's just sick of this fucking team. Like, it's not even like either that or, they went out for some spicy Indian food or to a sketchy Chinese buffet or something before the game, and then it was like, oh, should not have had those chicken balls. Like, let's we got to go. But yeah, it's. I mean, also it's kind of probably a bit of a mercy pull as well. Like, maybe if it's closer, he's like, you know what, maybe I could fight through it. I'll just pop a Gravol or something and take a couple Tums or something like that. But like, when it's. What was it at the end of the second? 4-1?
Yeah, 4-1. It was 4-1 before the halfway point of the second period, which at first I was about to, like, I originally had in the notes of like, okay, we're doing that weird thing again where we're letting Gibson play the second half of the second period where he lets in nothing and then pulling him again. And then like happened to see, not even from the Ducks again, right? Like, it was fucking CBS Sports of, like Gibson's out due to illness. Like, it's okay. So that's okay. That makes sense then. So yeah, left due to illness. But yeah, it was just it's all kinds of confusing sometimes, I guess. So
yeah. Yeah. Also, we're not really getting too into this game either, because we were obviously at the Gulls game when this one was going on, so we couldn't watch
this one's fully reliant on highlight packs or whatever. So
and we got to listen to the third period on the radio on the drive home, but like, that's obviously you can't get too much out of that. Carrick actually, we heard that he fought Gadjevich in the late in the third period, so a little bit of fire, I guess. But
so unless I missed something in the radio broadcast and it wasn't shown in the highlights, like, what was the point in that? I think I've talked about this before, but what was the point?
I want to say that we play San Jose like relatively soon again, but I could be wrong on that. I thought it was like within in a couple weeks maybe, but
if I
January 6th, so like that's still like
it's like a month
literally
away.
4 weeks from that game.
Like, if I am missing something, someone please tell me. Like, that's totally fine. But
I mean, there was some pushing and shoving, it sounded like, beforehand, like literally the play before, and they were down. I can't remember if it was 5-1 or if the sixth one had been scored yet, but like at that point, it's like standing up for your team, saying like, okay, like, yeah, we get it. You guys are up 5-1, 6-1, whatever, but like, that doesn't mean you can just like push and shove us after the whistle. Like, we're like, either quit it, like just grow up, or it's saying like, yeah, okay, you're beating us 6-1, but this isn't going to happen next time. So it's kind of setting the tone and like leaving it as like, okay, this is the last thing that happened in this game was this fight. So like next game, even though it's in a month, we're going to still have that fight. So
I don't know. To me, it's I want to bring the Letterkenny coach back, and it like to me, it's you're down 6-1 unless there was like something massive beforehand. It's embarrassing. It just looks embarrassing.
Yeah,
you're already down 5-1, and you're just making yourself look bad because Carrick got his ass rocked in that fight too. Like,
I wouldn't say so.
At the end, at least he did. The guy had the sweater pulled up over his head and got
at the end.
Down.
But like he Gadjevich basically didn't even throw any punches until he like pulled the sweater over his head, and then he was like, "Oh, he can't see now. I'm going to punch him," and then they fell down. Like otherwise, it was all Carrick just like throwing uppercuts and rights. And like there was one punch that I thought probably could have knocked Gadjevich out, and like he just kind of dodged out of the way of it. So I don't know. It seemed more on Carrick's side right up until the end when Gadjevich did the soft move of pulling. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, but like
but that's the thing, right? It doesn't matter at that point. So like, to me, it just looks embarrassing at that point. So
see, I think what would be more embarrassing is if you're losing 6-1 and then like, you know, they're snowing the goalie and pushing and shoving you after the whistle and stuff, and you just like sit there and take it, and you're like, yeah, you know what, we suck. We're your bitch. Like I'll literally do whatever you want. Like, you want me to tighten your skates for you? Like, you want me to like, that would be more embarrassing than like just sitting there and taking all of that from the Sharks, especially when it's 6-1, than standing up and fighting when it's 6-1.
I don't know.
It's essentially meaningless. So
for me, I guess I would just rather see the fight be, you know, in your actual play. I guess.
Well,
like, not getting shit stomped 6-1 by a goalie who is like in his first NHL game as well. Bless Trevor Zegras, otherwise the guy's getting a shutout because the Ducks offense, fuck, like we normally say like, oh yeah, fuck defense on this team, right? But in that game especially, fuck offense. There's no such thing, right? Like the entire thing was just, oh yeah, the goaltending's got it. The goaltending's got it. Well, guess what? The goaltending didn't have it. Gibson didn't have a great game before getting pulled.
Yeah.
Stolarz hung in there, but guess what? You broke the man. Literally broke the man. Here, let me pull up a couple. Quick.
No, yeah. Like, I'm not saying that, oh yeah, like fighting makes up for just not scoring and not producing offense. Like, obviously that's preferable, but I just have no issue with the fight, really. So
here, let me pull this up really quickly here. We'll pull up the shot map and the expected goals percentage here.
It's going to be embarrassing. As that clip you said would sum it up, but like,
this is the shot map. Look at that.
Yeah.
How sparse the Anaheim shots are just in general. Not even like location wise, just abundance of them. Like that is absolutely brutal.
I count 7 below the hash marks.
Yeah. And then if we look at the expected goal percentage here, and this is in all situations, Silfverberg at the most at like just over 45%.
Damn.
Like Oscar Lindblom for the San Jose Sharks is the only Shark to be below any Duck at 30% there.
Yeah. Fuck me. That's
like there was nothing in this game.
Yeah.
Like it's the like how I was saying about the the Dallas game, right? Oh, forget about the Ottawa one. This is even worse, right? No. This one takes the cake. Not even because it's the rival, the Sharks. It's that this team of the Sharks is like also another bottom 5 team.
Yeah.
He's got absolutely shit stomped by them. And like you look at the shots on goal total, and it's 28-24 for San Jose, right? Which is like, okay, yeah, shot wise, it's closer. But you look at that shot map again. San Jose was just allowed to do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah, exactly. So like that 28 is not inflated, deflated, I guess, from them probably just missing the net or like hit. Actually, they had a few posts, I believe, as well, and then just missing that or like blocks as well. I don't know how many blocks the Ducks had, but I would imagine it's that it would be a little bit higher.
Yeah, like the only
actually only 9. There were 14-9 in favor of the Sharks. So yeah,
like the only like main stat, I guess, that the NHL shows for like team stats, right? Shots on goal, face-off percentage, power plays, penalty minutes, hits, blocks, and giveaways. The only thing that the Ducks won in was penalty minutes. You're not supposed to win penalty minutes.
No.
15-13.
No.
Like, this game all around was just completely abysmal. The advanced stats, if anybody is curious as well, the deserve to win-o-meter from moneypuck.com had it at 84% for San Jose.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking embarrassing. The expected goals was 4.27 to 1.57 for San Jose. Like, this is brutal. And okay, you know, I'm gonna pick at one more thing here as well.
Okay.
Why are we pulling Stellars, like pulling for an extra attacker?
Yeah.
With just under 5 minutes left and you're down by 3. Any other team, like I get it. You think you maybe have a chance. You do realize, Mr. Eakins, that this is the fucking Anaheim Ducks that you run, right?
Like, we're arguably worse
Patrick
with the
Waugh,
extra
and
man.
this is, like, you're not Patrick Waugh, and this is not even that horrible Colorado Avalanche team from the early 2010s.
Yeah.
But you're not that guy. You're not that guy. Like,
yeah.
Like, we heard that on the radio, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, no. And yeah, sure enough, it was a dump in by Nick Bonino, basically. From
he got the puck in his own slot, and then just
clearing attempt that he put on.
Yeah, he had the amount of time to get the puck, turn around, pick his spot on the net, and then just dump it down. Like, there was no effort from the Ducks.
And then you put Stellars back in, because at that point it's 5-1, and your guys just decide to like just lie down and play dead again. And now it's 6-1 with like 3 minutes left. Like,
didn't they score like 28 seconds later or something like that?
Yeah, that was that goal.
Yeah, and then before that there was, to be fair, the 8 seconds apart goals were there was a weird bounce off the stanchion. To be fair to John Gibson on that.
Yeah,
one.
that one's the only one that I don't have issue with, honestly, because that is just a weird bounce that happened.
Yeah.
But like the Carlson rip, like if you're watching this, I still have the shot map up here. This one, like right at the top here, is the Carlson rip on the power play, which was San Jose's only power play goal out of 4 attempts that they had. But
which is not a credit to our penalty kill.
No, not at all. Because holy shit, they collapsed easier than a fucking smart car does rammed by a semi truck.
That's one way to put it. Yeah.
Like, holy fuck. That was abysmal. Like, I know he made the joke earlier of, oh yeah, like Gibson left due to illness. I'd be sick of this team too. No, like, seriously. Like Pat Verbeek talking about like, oh yeah, like John Gibson's like the reason that this team is like, you know, like we're looking to him for leadership and whatnot. No, Gibson, dude, get the fuck out of here.
Pack your bag and get to a team that'll
like
actually
in the nicest way possible.
Yeah.
Leave. Like, save yourself and your career and your reputation at this point.
Yeah.
My God.
No shit. Yeah. Where I was going with that though is like, if you're giving up 2 goals in under 30 seconds twice in the same game, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, how? That's we had talked about it. I think it was after those back-to-back St. Louis games, and we were like, okay, like Dallas Eakins is gone, I'd say by
yeah, we're still waiting on it. Fuck.
Yeah, by like it was Seattle. And then we got that, or not eventually, but like literally the next game after that episode, we got that regulation win against the Rangers. But that's where we were like, okay, we need to, once we see just no effort being put in, that's when Dallas Eakins is gone. How do you put in less effort than this? It's a Friday night against your state rival on a national broadcast.
Yeah. Like,
and you drop this like log of shit during that, and you lose 6-1 with like the only fire that the whole team showed was when Sam Carrick fought Gadjevich in the last 5 minutes of the game. That's the only life that you show. Like,
yeah,
you have to do something now.
Or Bonino putting in that goal from his own end, and Troy Terry just like slapping the puck at the boards.
Yeah,
like that's it.
Yeah,
like outside of Zegras, like nice shot by Zegras as normal, right? But like besides that, nothing. This team was dead on arrival.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And that was really just Zegras being like, okay, I'm going to try and do something here, like leading by example. But then nobody followed him. Like he was excited and he was trying to hype the team up. Like, okay, we got one. Like we're back in it. Let's go. Let's see if we can get a few more. If they can score 4 in a row, why can't we? And then everyone else was just like, yeah, I'm sure. Fist bump. Cool. Whatever.
Yeah.
And like, so he was like one of the only ones really showing anything. But
it's, like this is the one. Like one of the few times where I'm just like, yeah, you know what? I'm glad I was actually occupied with something else than I like. Mind you, I was watching hockey instead of watching hockey. But actually, no. In this case, I was watching hockey instead of watching an absolute shit show.
Yeah, like at least the Gulls.
I was watching hockey.
At least that was a game.
Yeah, I was watching hockey instead of watching monkeys throw shit.
Yeah,
like,
but like what? Like, especially when this is a national broadcast, like who's going to take time out of their evening now to be like, oh, the Anaheim Ducks are playing? Sick. I'm going to throw this on because, you know, they're exciting to watch. Like maybe people will throw it on like, oh, let's see how bad this fucking team is. Like,
yeah, or it's let's see Trevor Zegras and Troy Terry quickly.
Why? Not even that. Like literally, why? Yeah. You can just watch the highlights. Like that game shows to the entire country, entire continent, I suppose, because it's a national broadcast. It's still technically Canada and the US and Mexico, I guess. They're part of the continent. We'll throw them in there. But like that's why, like, that's just saying to everybody, like, don't bother turning on Anaheim Ducks hockey.
Yeah.
Like even it's not worth it to watch, even to see Zegras and Terry. Like we got to see one nice Zegras goal that you were like, oh wow, sick. Fuck, you can watch that on YouTube. You can watch it on Twitter. Yeah. You can like literally anywhere else after. Who cares? You're not going to put yourself through 2.5 to 3 hours of misery just to maybe potentially see one nice goal from those guys. Like it's not even worth it at that point. So like when it's that bad, something has to be done, and it's not going to happen in December. It's just a guarantee. But come January, Dallas Eakins has to be gone. Like literally,
it's past the point of like it's well past the point of oh yeah, we're going for the tank, and sure Dallas Eakins isn't great, and this like that kind of helps us. Yeah, like it's exactly what I was talking about like closer to the start of the year. If you're losing like closer games, I have no issue with that.
Yeah,
if there's some fight there, I have no issue with that. If you are routinely being embarrassed though. And not even at this point, not even embarrassed by top teams. You're getting embarrassed by bottom 6 teams. It's time to go. It's time to go.
Yeah. If the Ducks play starting now from this Ottawa game that we'll talk about in a few minutes to the rest of the season.
5-game road trip now. Fuck.
Yeah.
It's a prison with Dallas Eakins.
Say Dallas Eakins gets fired like Monday morning. And we get, and then we get our new interim coach or head coach or whoever it is, and we get that new coach bump for the rest of the season, and we play 500 hockey. Even if we do that, that gives us 54 points. Add the 17 we already have, we still finish the season with 71 points, which is, you know what? You're maybe getting second or third last in the wild card rather than last.
Yeah.
At that point. And that's if we go 500. And if Dallas Eakins is gone today, when you're listening to this.
Yeah.
Like, the season's already gone. Like, it doesn't even, like, we've already tanked for Bedard. We're basically guaranteed at this point the best odds for Connor Bedard.
Yeah, we've swam down to the depths, and now we are going, like we are halfway down the Marinas Trench at this point.
Yeah.
Like...
So, and I know this is very doom and gloom for this part of the episode, but like, what's even the point of watching Ducks hockey?
Yeah, like if we didn't have to talk about it on the show, honestly.
Yeah, or unless you're like a hardcore fan. And you're like, you know what? I can at least throw it on in the background while I do something else, which is probably what I'll do, honestly. But like,
and honestly, I've even seen like the hardcore fans on like social media that are just going like, yeah, I turned this game off. Like, I'm not wasting my time.
Yeah, exactly. So it's that's how we feel. That's how it is.
That's how it is, exactly.
Yeah, but it's just. It has to be time soon because this was the lowest of the low. It can't possibly get any lower, and we're facing some tough teams on this road trip.
You say that it can't get any lower. I think there's another level to Dallas Eakins. Here, though.
I mean, it could, I guess, get lower by it being 6-0. So yeah. But yeah, we'll. I think let's move on from this game. We've got news, being excited about other teams, and then upcoming games. So, you know what? Actually, now's probably a good time to take a short break. And then on the other side, we will get to the one piece of news that we have coming out of Anaheim here. But we will throw it over to our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook. Be sure to use promo code THPN, and we will see you in just a minute. Hockey fans, light the lamp this winter with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. New customers can bet just $5 pre-game money line on any NHL team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. If that wasn't enough excitement, you can turn small bets into bigger payouts with same-game parlays. Combine multiple bets like which team will win, how many goals will be scored, and more for your shot at an even bigger payout. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code THPN, bet $5 on any NHL team to win their game, and get $150 in free bets if they do. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code THPN. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. So, this piece of news is actually probably pretty exciting and may actually be a reason to tune into Ducks games for the next game anyways.
Next game.
One game just to see what happens. But Lukáš Dostál was recalled by Anaheim earlier in the weekend. Was it Friday?
Yesterday.
Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday.
Which I'm glad that it happened after we got to see him play in person when we were there for the Gulls game. Not that I wouldn't have been okay with seeing Eriksson Ek in net as well, but just seeing Dostál in person, I think, was a treat, especially at his development age. So you probably watched him a little closer than I did, but
I did. The guy looked great. I even checked out, his stats from last season because I kind of had to remind myself that he actually was up last season
for a bit.
He played 4 games, started 3 games as well, actually. 1-2-0 record, a .907 save percentage, and a negative 1.4 goal save above expected in those 4 games.
Was that near the end of the season, or
I forget when that was exactly? I feel like it was like February.
Oh, you might be right. Yeah,
because Gibson was out for a bit there.
That's right. Yeah,
but so nothing from the team officially as to why Dostál was up, but kind of as we talked about, Eric Stevens had said that Stolarz has a lower body injury and did not travel with the team. So, so I guess we'll probably see something official from the team once they announce the lineups an hour before they play Ottawa. So
yeah, exactly.
So that's how it seems to work.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it'll be interesting to see that young guy up here, and it'll be fun. So
yeah, for sure. It was in January that he came up. He got a start against the Red Wings, which was the one he won.
Which was also
overtime win. It looks like 17 save percentage,
and that's where he established a franchise record for the most saves by a Ducks goaltender in their NHL debut with 33 saves.
Yeah, that's right. And then he came in relief against Minnesota on January 14th, playing just shy of 18 minutes. So I would imagine started the third period and then pulled for the extra attacker, let in one goal on 13 shots there. And then he played the next night in Chicago got a start. Put up a 943 save percentage, allowing only 2 goals on 35 shots, but Ducks got the loss there. And then he played a game in March, so just called up at some point for probably to cover an injury again, I would imagine. But
yeah, if I remember correctly, it was a very quick call up that he had there. So
yeah, so yeah, I mean it's going to be great to see him up. Like, yeah, his numbers in the NHL, or his total numbers in the NHL, don't maybe look fantastic and give promise.
But first 4 games of your career behind a dog shit team.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and even against, or even if you're on like a decent team, like there is still quite a big leap from the AHL to the NHL. Like it's just way faster, and you're going up against like way more elite talent, at least on the top lines. Like, it's not like a third pairing. You can't just throw the guy on like a third pairing defense, or like, give him 5 minutes on the fourth line or whatever. Like, no, he has to play 60 minutes against the entire 18-man roster.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
There's no hand holding for goaltenders, at least. Like, it's either you give him the start or you don't. Then that's it. And he will for sure be getting a start, since we do have a back-to-back. Well, I mean, I guess it's not a for sure thing, but very, very, very likely that he will get a start, since we have a back-to-back situation. But again, we'll get to that in a couple minutes here. So
yeah.
Anything else to say about Dostal?
No, yeah, just I'm excited to see him play, but yeah, I don't know. That's all I really got. So
yeah. I mean, it will either, I think, expose the poor system that the coaching staff has put together, or it will just say, oh, you know what? Maybe we do just need to give this time, and Dostal is the answer, and now we can trade away everybody else for, actual defensemen and, better, more forwards. I was going to say better forwards, but we actually have decent forwards, just more decent forwards.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think this will be a good sign of, where the team actually is at long term. So, yeah. As usual for the Monday episodes, we got we're gonna branch out from the Ducks just very, very briefly here, and we're gonna head over to Buffalo, where things started hot and then they got less hot, but not for Tage Thompson, that's for sure. On Wednesday night last week, December 7th, guy put up 4 goals in the first period against the Columbus Blue Jackets. So, I mean, still, but no one else has done that against the Columbus Blue Jackets this season. So he got the second goal of the game about 5 minutes in, and then a goal by Rasmus Dahlin to make it 3-0. And then he proceeded to score 3 straight in the span of about 9 minutes. For
guy was just unstoppable in that game.
Is that technically a natural hat trick when you score 3 in a row, even though it was goals 2, 3, and 4 on the night?
Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
Yep.
So cool. Very, very cool for him. Two of those were on the power play, and then he added a 5th one in the second period there, closer to the end, to make it 7-2 for the Buffalo Sabres. And he's got 20, or at the time had 21 on the season. I think now he is doing quite a lot better. But, scoring 5 goals in a game and then 4 in a period, that's very impressive and worthy of this week's a big energy move.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was only 2 goals away from tying the record for most goals in an NHL game, which was 7. That was set like back in the 1920s.
Yeah.
So that is a
big energy move.
And I don't know. Maybe we almost want to give it to the coach at the same time for only having him out for I think it was like 3 or 5 minutes in the third period. It's a reverse. It's a reverse one.
Like a little one.
Yeah. Like, the guy's got a chance at history. Let him go for it.
Yeah. So,
but sitting your best player when you're up in a game and he's doing fantastic is a
big energy move.
I don't know.
Not.
It would have been cool to see him go for it if he was allowed to. So
yeah, for sure. Actually, Tage Thompson still at 21 goals on the season, good for third in the NHL. Just 2 behind Jason Robertson with 23, and who is 2 behind Connor McDavid, who has 25 on the
That is
season.
nuts.
Yeah, absolute madness, man.
I remember when that contract was signed, I was like, that's a lot of money for a guy that hasn't played a whole lot yet. And now it's just like, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Total sense.
Yep, exactly. So
I did want to look ahead actually as to when Anaheim was playing Columbus, just because I was curious, and that is the 19th of January.
So we've got about a month, a little over a month.
A little over a month.
Fuck, can't come fast enough. But I mean, also, do we really want to find out how we perform against Columbus?
Oh, absolutely, because the 4 games in a row there are Philadelphia, Columbus, Buffalo, and Arizona. If Dallas Deacons is still around, I want those games.
But that's if we get
I want to see how brutal it is.
If we get any less than 4 points in that 4-game span, like, you might as well just like put the team on a bus, drive them down to South America, change all of their names, and just hope that nobody finds them ever again.
No, you drive them on a bus to San Diego, and you fly San Diego to wherever Anaheim is supposed to be.
There you go. Is that on the road too?
Yeah, that is. They that's a 6-game road trip.
Okay. Bookended by Pittsburgh and Colorado.
Exactly.
Yeah. We've got a pretty hefty home trip, or not home trip,
road trip in
home stand before
that. That too. Yeah,
like, what is that, like 9-10 games in a row at home?
Yeah,
I guess that's probably
broken up with Christmas, but
yeah, so that's and
still
potentially the All-Star break as well.
All-Star would be in it's in February there.
Oh, is it? Oh, I thought I usually did it at the end of end of January, early February.
Yeah, because they'll have from the Sunday the 29th until I hit the wrong button. Sunday the 5th.
Okay.
And
that's
literal.
That's after that big 6-game road trip as well. So yeah, man, that might be the best week of Ducks hockey, right there, that we'll see all season.
From when Trevor Zegras or Troy Terry are the only representatives at the All-Star game.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, when we don't actually have to watch the Ducks.
We don't have to watch them.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, so I guess moving on to the upcoming games that will be happening a little bit more immediately than the ones at the end of January are Monday against the Ottawa Senators. That game will be at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time, because it's on the road. That's why it's such a stupid time for us, because it's 7:30 there, but 4:30 in Anaheim on the coast there. So yeah, last time we played Ottawa, that was just a few weeks ago. That was the
it was fucking embarrassing.
I'm sorry if you went to therapy to forget about this. So just pause it for a few seconds if you don't want to know. 5-1 Ottawa for that one. So yeah, as Nate said, fucking embarrassing. Okay, everyone's good to go. I mean, if it's muted, you won't be able to hear it, but hopefully what in the clear. So yeah, that's what's going on there. Sens, I still think, aren't doing fantastic, really.
No, the Sens are sitting 8th in the Eastern Conference wildcard race. 11, 14, and 2. Their home record is 6-8-0 on the season. However, in their last 10, they are 5-4-1.
Okay,
so
not bad.
They're looking better.
Yeah, they. I mean, they've beaten some decent teams in the Rangers and the Predators recently. Took Dallas to overtime. Seems on the road they're pretty good. It's just at home.
The road they're 5-6-2.
Okay.
So
yeah. And then they also recently beat the San Jose Sharks 5-2. So if they can beat the Sharks 5-2 and we lose to the Sharks 6-1, what does that mean they're going to do to us?
I'm going to throw my prediction out there. I'm just going to keep actually what the first game was, 5-1 Ottawa.
Okay. again, apologies if you went to therapy to forget that game, and now Nate just told you what the score was again. But Nate says 5-1 Ottawa.
I went to therapy for it, so.
5-1 Ottawa. Yeah. Fuck. Did this age poorly? Our predictions.
Holy shit.
5-4 Anaheim and 4-3 Anaheim is what we had said. Yikes.
Yup. Oof.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 4-2 Ottawa. Or yeah, Ottawa. Sorry, I was like, wait, is that what? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, and then moving to just the next evening, Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 Eastern. We will be in Toronto, who will be wrapping up a 3-game homestand where they beat the LA Kings 5-0, the Calgary Flames 5-4 in overtime, and then after a couple days off and some good old rest, they will be able to play us.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Toronto is 18-5-6, currently sitting second in the Atlantic Division.
Okay.
Their last 10, they are 8-0-2, are currently on a 3-game winning streak, and their home record for the season, 10-2-3.
5-0 Toronto. That literally sounds like Dallas, and look what happened against Dallas.
I'm going to do you one better. 6-0.
Oh, just have to show me up, hey. Yeah, there's no reason for us to have faith in the team performing any differently against Toronto.
When Toronto was in town, was that not one of the overtime wins that we had?
Oh, that's true. I forgot we had played them. Where is it here?
Which is why it's going to be even better when we just get our teeth pounded into the curb.
Yeah, it was 4-3 Anaheim. Yes, that was the overtime one.
This will be one of the few games that like actual genuine Maple Leafs fans are going to get lower bowl seats because the just people aren't going to want to go to this game.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So
just because I'm curious, actually, I'm going to take a look at what ticket prices are.
Especially because it's a Tuesday night, right?
Yeah, I'm actually going to take a look at what it is.
Yeah. And I know that these are very pessimistic predictions, but yeah, just given the track record of the team, especially on the road, like what's our road record?
Our road record, holy shit. 2-11-3.
Wow. Okay. Wait, we have 2 regulation wins? How did I miss that? Oh, against Carolina, right? Oh no. But
no,
we beat
that's not 2 regulation wins. That's just 2 wins.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. Why did I think that? Yeah, that was dumb. 2-11-3 compared to our total record of 7-18-3.
Holy shit!
So at least at home we would be at home we're like 5-7-0. Like, is that right?
Sorry, at home 5-7-0. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my god, we're at a -50 goal differential. Fuck yeah, we hit 50, everybody. Oh my god.
How much lower can we go? Who's next closest? Is it Chicago at -32? Chicago and Columbus at -30. That's bad.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh.
What were you looking up again? You were looking something up.
I was looking up tickets for Toronto Anaheim.
Oh, no,
and you know what?
Tuesday
Just
night.
for fun, anyway, I'm gonna search up Ottawa as well after the fact.
Okay.
The best seat available currently for 2 tickets to the Toronto Maple Leafs Anaheim Ducks game is section 108, row 2, which is just behind the penalty boxes. At I gotta do the math on that one here. $528 per ticket American, so $720 Canadian.
Oof. Yeah, that's so. I mean, it's expensive, but that's
Yeah.
the best available. you said?
That's the best available one. The next one would be the
like in
section
terms of
across.
In terms of lowest price, or it's like best value for the seat that it is?
Best seat in the house,
Okay.
like closest to the action.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. The next one would be the section across behind the benches. Row 11 in section 119, which I'm looking at the picture. It's about what we had for seats for the Gulls game.
Okay.
And that is at $436 Canadian, which is $319 American. So those are still hefty prices. Holy shit.
Oh yeah. I'm sure that people down in Anaheim are like, oh my God, how can you spend that much? But for us, it's just like,
yeah,
it's still expensive, but like compared to like going to Calgary or Edmonton for those same seats, like
just the Leafs game in general is expensive. Section 3, like the 300s,
so the nosebleeds.
The 300S section, because that's standing.
So is literally the highest you can go
is $70 Canadian per ticket.
Oof.
Holy fuck.
On a Tuesday night against the Anaheim Ducks. Wow. That's nuts. And on top of that, you get to pay $15 for a beer. Well, actually, no, probably a little bit less because it's not Edmonton. And that's how much beer is there. But still, probably like $11, $12 for a beer, $8 for a popcorn, $7 for a hot dog, maybe. Like that's bloody expensive, man.
Okay, I'm gonna compare.
And you could probably get like front of second bowl in like Anaheim for $70 Canadian.
Okay, I'm taking off verified resale.
Oh yeah, because those are always marked up.
Holy shit, that is a difference and a half. For the Ottawa game, you could get the lower bowl, row R, which what letter is that in the alphabet?
It'd be around like between 15 and 20, I think.
Yeah. For $200 each ticket, Canadian, which is $147 American.
So significantly
that is
cheaper.
Wildly different. Holy shit.
Yeah.
On a Monday night. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. But
yeah, okay, you know what? Actually, now that I'm curious, let's take a look at Anaheim.
Yeah, sure.
For their next home game.
Yeah. What would that one? That would be against Minnesota. So yeah, it'd be a decent comparable to some of the other ones.
Let's take a look against the Minnesota Wild on December 21st.
It might be different because that one's like right around Christmas time, but
yeah. So 2 tickets, no resale, best seat in the house. Section 220, row D, which is the first level. 160 each, and I think that's American actually.
Okay.
Yeah, 160 American, which is I lost my converter here. 218 Canadian per ticket.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of comparable to Ottawa, I guess.
Yeah, a little bit. So
it's similar anyways. But yeah.
But you can get
and it's a Wednesday night, so yeah, still a weekday.
Yeah. And you can get section 400 tickets for 19 American each.
Wow.
like spread out around the area. Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah. Literally, if we didn't have like cars that were decent on gas and we weren't as close to like Calgary as we are, and we didn't have people we could stay with in Calgary or Edmonton, it would literally be cheaper for us to like drive across the border, fly down to Anaheim to see a game, and then fly back, or like see a couple games probably, and then fly back, than to like go and make it a weekend in Calgary or Edmonton and see a couple games there.
Yeah.
It's literally cheap. It's like absolutely nuts.
Jeez.
I have family in Saskatchewan, so like Edmonton is still quite the drive for them, like it's probably a good 7-8 hours as opposed to for us where it's 5. And for them, if they were gonna like, because they frequently just take like, you know, a week holiday around Christmas or like something like that just to go and see hockey, it's literally cheaper for them, and so 2 adults and 3 kids, to fly down to Anaheim and go to see a game in they're Oilers fans, so they usually go to see Edmonton, and to watch them play in Anaheim and LA and San Jose and go to Disneyland and stay for the whole week. It's cheaper for them to do that than to drive and stay in Edmonton and watch them on a 3-game homestand.
Jeez.
For the 5 of them. It's absolutely nuts.
That is nuts.
Yeah. So it makes me wish just a little bit that we were closer to like a smaller market team where we could see games, like NHL games, just basically whenever we wanted.
A smaller market team not in Canada, because the Jets, I think, are still pretty crazy as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and that like is a small market. Like the
it's
Jets
very
are
localized. Yeah.
Like the Jets aren't they under 1 million people?
I don't know.
For the population of Winnipeg, I'm pretty sure. Let me double check here.
Oh, for Winnipeg? Oh yeah, it might be slightly higher than 1 million, but yeah.
Population 2022.
Actually, I think the whole province of Manitoba is like 1 million people.
Yeah, the current metro area population of Winnipeg in 2022 is 833,000.
So yeah, not that much. Yeah.
So,
but yeah. Anyways, back to these upcoming games. I did actually have one thing I wanted to discuss here about them, just because they are back to back. Obviously, if you're calling up Lukáš Dostál, you probably want to give him a start since it's not his first NHL start.
Yeah.
And it's not like Gibson has been fantastic this season. Do you play Gibson against Ottawa and then just throw Dostál to the Wolves against Toronto and see what happens? Or do you, quote, give the easier game to Dostál and then hope that Gibson can have a good night against Toronto?
For the sake of Dostál, I give him the Ottawa game.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas Eakins thinks they're competitive, so he'll give Dostál the Ottawa game.
Okay. So you're saying the same thing, but just for
it's
a
the
different
same thing
reason.
for different reasons. Yeah.
Yeah. See, the only thing here is like, and this isn't meant to be a slight against Dostál. It's just that he is inexperienced in the NHL. Do you give it, if you give Dostál Ottawa, that's not a guaranteed win. And then if you give Gibson Toronto, that's also not a guaranteed win. If you give Gibson Ottawa and Dostál Toronto, then you're basically saying, fuck it, we don't care what happens against Toronto. If you manage to pull out some magic and only let in 4 goals, sure, great. But then starting the theoretically better, more experienced goalie in Gibson against Ottawa, I don't want to say guarantees you that win, but it gives you a much better shot. Is that a stretch? Because like as I'm saying it, I'm thinking like, do you have that much better of a chance with Gibson over Ottawa than Dostál?
I'm not sure, because the Ducks had Stolarz in, who at that time was playing better, I think, than Gibson. And they still lost handedly.
Really shot the bed.
Yeah.
So like, it doesn't really matter, kind of.
I don't think so.
In that vein, then, is it not better experience for Dostál to go against the... Actually...
To go against Toronto?
Well, let's take a step back for a sec. Is Toronto's offense leaps and bounds better than Ottawa's offense? Team-wise, yes. Toronto is way better. But Ottawa's really lacking mostly from their defense, and then they kind of just have average goaltending, so you give them shit defense, then you get subpar goaltending. But like,
I wouldn't say average defense. Matt Murray and Sorokin have been
no, I'm talking in Ottawa. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
In Ottawa,
I thought you were talking to Toronto. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? Toronto's goaltending has been fantastic.
Yeah, no, it has. Yeah, but I'm just thinking like in terms of offense from both of these, like Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Bunting, Tavares, whoever else I'm forgetting.
Not Sorokin. When I was talking about.
Oh yeah. Like those are obviously elite players in Toronto, but then also you have Claude Giroux, Tim Stützle, Drake Batherson, Brady Tkachuk. Who's the other guy? Not Josh Norris because he's still injured, but there's another one I'm missing. DeBrincat, thank you. Yeah, that's who I was thinking of. So like you still have elite offense in Ottawa too. So like, is there really that much of a difference in terms of the quality of shots that Dostal will face against Ottawa or Toronto?
It's basically, do you want the high offense of the Ottawa Senators or do you want the high offense of the Toronto Maple Leafs, where there's Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner, who's on a 20 game point streak right now?
He's he's hit 21 now. So
you're 21, yeah.
Actually, no, yeah. So 21. So yeah,
pick the lesser of two evils. You're going with Ottawa, I think.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, either way, because I was thinking like maybe you want to give him like some great experience against like talented shooters against Toronto, see what he can do against them. But I think you still
I'd be curious
Ottawa anyways.
I'd be curious to see it. Don't get me wrong.
It would make me very happy if the Anaheim Ducks and Lukáš Dostál broke Mitch Marner's point streak, so that I could rub it into some very obnoxious Leafs fans' faces that I know.
Oh, keep dreaming, dude. Keep dreaming.
Yeah, but like. If it was,
it doesn't matter who the Anaheim Ducks have in net. That streak will continue against Anaheim.
But maybe
it's
just
going to happen.
But just imagine the shocked look on Leafs fans' faces when somebody that they've probably literally never heard of posts. I mean, if it was to break this streak, it would probably have to be a shutout. So post a shutout against the Maple Leafs to end Marner's streak. Could you imagine? They'd be like, who the fuck is this guy even? Like, what?
And can we trade for him? Because the last time we traded with Anaheim, it worked out decently for us.
Yeah.
No,
that's why we're like, no, we're keeping this guy, but you can have Gibson. We'll be so kind as to take Matt Murray off your hands. In exchange for a first-round pick.
With that being said, thank you for listening to the Quack Report. You can find me on Twitter at Tatenhomas, TATENHOMAS.
See, some people
not going down that rabbit hole with you. I'm not going down that rabbit hole.
See, some people think this is called the Quack Report because Ducks, that's funny, they quack. But no, it's just because we're nuts. Come up with quack ideas. That's why. Actually, we didn't even come up with a name, but you know.
I'm not going down there with you.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to go down there either. I guess that's it, hey? That's the episode.
Yep, that is.
Okay. Well, I mean, Nate already plugged his handles there. So yeah, you can follow me at Carter_Potts, POTTS_97 if you want to tell me how messed up of an idea that was. Or if you think it's got some merit, let me know too. At Quack Report Pod on Twitter as well, at HockeyPodNet. We will see you guys Wednesday for another live stream. In the meantime, have a good one. I guess go Ducks go. Maybe. We can dream, right?
I can dream, Harold.